Alright, so in the previous lecture we talked about colors, okay? We learned how we can change this background, the pre-background, and the line colors. We learned how we can modify some objects, and we learned how to create a subplot. So creating a figure, adding subplots, stuff like that. Now in this lecture we're going to be continuing that, except we'll learn how to change some more of the graph. So these tick params, the text, stuff like that. And by the end of this lecture, you should see fully colored graphs, so nothing will be left behind. Let's get started. So first thing first is the tick params. I'll show you how the tick params look in a second, but let's go ahead and set them. The way you set them is you say graph1.tickparams, okay? And then you specify which axis you're talking about. So axis is equal to whichever axis, X or Y. Let's go ahead and start off with X, and you say color is equal to whatever color you want. However, since we have a black background, I am going to do white params or white ticks, okay? So, you know what, just save this, F5, and I just want to show you what's happening so that you understand what you're actually creating. It's run, okay. So this is my figure, and I'm not sure if you see it on the screen. Again, I will zoom in for you, but you see these white params, these white tick params over here that specify where number 4 is, where number 5 is. That's what we've just changed. So before it was black, now we've turned it to white. So we're going to do the same thing with our y-axis. Graph1.tickparams, axis is equal to y. And color is equal to white, okay? Save this, F5, and now we should see tick params on both our y-axis and our x-axis, okay? So ta-da, here we go. I'm not gonna make it all the way, but you see the small white on the y-axis and these white params on the x-axis, okay? So that's the first thing we've changed. That's pretty good, okay? Now the next thing you want to change is the spine. So by spine, I mean, you see this box, this black box that we've created. Actually, you can even change the boundary color. So this small border that you might say, this border, we can also change the color of so that it pops out and makes your graph look better. So we call those the spine. And to change the spine, it's actually pretty cool. What you have to do is you have to specify each top, left, bottom, right. So each side of the box you have to specify specifically and change the color. So to do that, you're going to say graph1.spines, and then you specify, what is it, bottom, right, top, or left. I'm going to do top first because I just like top. Top.setColor, and then just specify what color. So we're doing white again because white will pop out with the green, red, and black. So that's top. Go ahead, do one for left, right, and bottom as well. So I'm just going to Command C, Command V. Okay, here goes left, here is right. All right, and let's do one more. Let's do bottom. Okay, cool, and all of them are white. So save this, F5, and now if you take a look at that border, you're going to see a little better looking graph, right? So it pops out now. Before it was just black, but now you see this white. You see this white line around the border of your graph, and that just makes it more, you know, it pops out. So if you're creating a graph to show to someone or anything, it just gives it a better appeal. So I hope you agree with me there, but if you don't, that's fine. And to finish this lecture off, let's go ahead and understand how to change the text, okay? So right now we don't have any labels, but I do want to add the labels, and the way we can do that is actually by doing this. So say graph1.setTitle, and the title basically is the title of your, like I've talked about this, but it's the title of your graph. So I'm going to give this title as, currently it's random, so a random graph. And then you also specify over here what color do you want this to be. So by specifying colors, it changes all three or any of the text. If you only specify color, I believe it doesn't. I'm not completely sure, but just go with colors for now. Okay, we have colors, and let's change this to white again. So random graph, comma colors is equal to white. So by setting it as colors, we don't have to change the x-axis, I believe. So it's .set x label, and our x label is going to be this is the x-axis, something simple. And go ahead and do the same thing for the y-axis. So graph1.setY label is equal to this is the y-axis. Okay, so save this F5, and now you should see, better text. So it just makes our graph at the end look better. It's giving me an error over here. It says unknown property in set title, title.update quarks, unknown property colors. That might be because of the extra S. Let's try doing color. That might work. Let's see. Yes, cool. So we changed the random graph, that made it color, but this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis is still black. I believe it would have worked with colors, but I guess it's not. So let's go ahead and try changing it specifically. So let's make this white as well, and let's make this white as well. Okay, so save this F5, and hopefully now we should see, yes, there we go. So basically the error we were running into is it wasn't taking colors as a parameter. I thought that would work, but that's okay. So what we did in the end is we changed each one of the labels specifically, saying color white, color white, color white, and this is our end product. So this is actually a pretty neat graph. I mean, if I was showing this to someone for a lecture or something, I would use this graph. White, black, red, green, they're contrasting colors. Fantastic job. So in the next lecture, I'll be showing you two ways. One way, or two methods actually. One method will be to add another line to this graph. That won't take us much time. It'll be a short lecture. And then the lecture after that, I'll be showing you how we can have multiple graphs in one figure. So again, that's where the subplot parameter comes in. That's gonna be a lot of fun, but I'll see you in the next lecture.